Hello and welcome to the Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad.
And I'm Cheryl Chamina. As always, thank you for joining us tonight. Well, shall we dive into the news, Razi?
Yes, I think we shall.
To the headline stories. Now, dirty, difficult and dangerous. These are the terms often associated with technical fields, especially engineering. However, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin said these fields have brighter job market potential with higher returns. Generation needs to be encouraged to delve into technical-related fields.
Trend masa depan menunjukkan bahawa bidang yang berkait dengan teknologi akan menjadi profesion berpermintaan tinggi. Penggunaan teknologi terkini pula akan mengubah imej 3D ini kepada imej berprestij kerana profesion teknikal menuntut kesarjanaan ilmu dan kepakaran yang mendalam.
Muhyiddin said graduates of fields that often raise negative perceptions due to the dangers involved are often the ones expected to be much sought after in future jobs markets. He added students were encouraged to make technical fields their future career choice, not only to meet the country's future industrial needs, but also to produce viable technical professionals. In line with current technological developments, especially with the Industrial Revolution 4.0 technology boom, fields of STEM and TVET are also promising and should not be missed.
Di samping itu, agensi dan syarikat strategik negara berasaskan teknologi perlu diterajui dari kalangan profesional teknikal. Ini selaras dan bertepatan dengan tema SPTN 2020 tahun ini, masa depan adalah kita.
Hence, the government intends to produce more policymakers and leaders among members of the technical profession so that the country heads into the direction of advancement.
There is a bunch of programs and initiatives carried out by the Sarawak government in developing the state's youth. Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg said this is in line with the state government's goal to turn Sarawak into a developed state come 2030.
Commenting further, he said Sarawak has provided platforms for the youth to delve into many fields, including the creative arts and sports industries. Among others, he said 160 million ringgit has been channeled to develop a platform for performing arts so that the youth are encouraged to display their talents in the arts industry.
Kerajaan pimpinan saya telah memperuntukkan lebih daripada 160 juta untuk membangunkan performing art bagi kita mewujudkan seni budaya kita. Ini akan memberi latihan kepada belia yang mempunyai bakat dalam performing art dan juga seni, termasuklah lagu, drama yang harus kita pupukkan.
With the platform, Abang Johari said the youth could establish a culture in Sarawak that could then be promoted overseas. Besides that, Abang Johari believes that with the use of advanced technology such as drones in agriculture, the youth could be encouraged to dabble into the agriculture industry, especially through modern farming.
Belia yang cergas akan mewujudkan negeri yang cergas. Sebab itu, di mana dikatakan oleh Yang Berhormat tadi, masa depan kita adalah cerah.
With this move, he said Sarawak would be able to supply food to countries around the region, therefore achieving the status of developed state by 2030. The role of creative youth in the development of the country's creative industry is crucial. Unleashing the young people's innovation and creativity should then be prioritized. According to the Minister of Youth and Sports Sarawak, Dato' Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, the youth has the potential to unlock and determine the country's future.
Penyertaan golongan belia amatlah dialurkan kerana tenaga, idea bernas dan juga pandangan kreatif mereka akan lebih memeriahkan lagi suasana kehidupan masyarakat kita.
Karim said this during the state-level Youth Day 2020 on December 5th. The event was officiated by Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg, involving only 1,000 youths in strict compliance with the stipulated standard operating procedures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Abdul Karim, who is also Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, said the objective of the Youth Day 2020 was to recognize the roles of the youth and their support in Sarawak's development agenda.
Kita lihatlah bagaimana keadaan belianya pada hari ini. Daripada apa yang dapat kita lihat, keceriaan pada wajah belia pada hari ini, daripada apa yang dapat kita lihat, penglibatan belia-belia dalam program-program yang disediakan oleh kerajaan dan juga NGO-NGO, saya percaya negeri Sarawak adalah pada landasan yang betul. Kita percaya bahawa kita mempunyai pewaris-pewaris yang betul-betul committed.
He said the youth should also let their thoughts and aspirations be heard by the government of the day so that the necessary action could be implemented for their benefit. The fun-filled event includes a parade by the youth group, youth kitchen and e-sport competition, as well as presentation of the Youth Figure Award and Youth Association Figure Award. Also present during the event were Youth and Sports Assistant Minister Dato' Snowdan Lawan, the Ministry's Permanent Secretary Nancy Johi, Samarahan Division Resident Ibrahim Lumpu, and Asajaya District Officer Rais Ahmad. The Youth Icon Award honors the youth who have made significant contributions in a professional or voluntary capacity, covering areas such as community service and social development. Amid such circumstances, the pandemic will not be a hindrance to youth associations that are lending a helping hand to those in need. For Awang Shazwan Shafiq, the Youth Icon Award means a lot to him, as it recognizes his association as a top youth association this year. He said this year, the Malaysian Muslim Youth Movement, ABIM Sarawak, aims to ensure humanitarian aid to those in need during the pandemic. ABIM also gives youth and leadership training to provide welfare assistance to 400 families and individuals who were affected by the severity of the movement control order.
Memang tak sangkalah akan ada pandemik COVID-19 dan pada tahun ini jugalah melihat keadaan yang berlaku kepada masyarakat di negeri Sarawak, ramai yang memerlukan bantuan dan sebagainya, maka ABIM sebagai sebuah badan bukan kerajaan, badan belia, kami juga sama-sama membantu untuk memberikan bantuan kepada golongan-golongan yang memerlukan melalui kempen Seorang Sekapi Beras. Terutama sekali pada fasa pertama PKP dahulu memang sangat kritikal. Jadi alhamdulillah dengan bantuan daripada orang awam, kami dapat menyalurkan sumbangan kepada lebih 400 buah keluarga dan individu di sekitar Kuching dan Semarahan.
For Khalid Hussein, he hopes that this award will spur the youth's interest in cultivating their potential, especially with the platforms provided.
Harapkan agar belia di Sarawak bolehlah untuk selepas ini sama-sama kita untuk memperhebatkan lagi potensi diri, walaupun kita sebenarnya menghadapi pandemik COVID-19, tetapi itu tidak akan menghalang kita untuk terus dapat memperselahkan personaliti kita, bukan sahaja daripada bidang sukan seperti e-sport dan sebagainya, tetapi ada juga aktiviti-aktiviti kesenian dan kebudayaan. Sekarang ini pun ada juga puisi-puisi di atas talian maupun pertandingan-pertandingan pidato, debat dan sebagainya yang boleh mencukil bakat-bakat kita secara atas talian.
Meanwhile, a 32-year-old doctor expressed a different point of view. Through his involvement in the Malaysian Dental Association, she has the opportunity to promote oral health in rural areas.
What we actually focus more on and we are really passionate about is CSR programs, community service responsibility programs. Because we have unique geographical terrain here in Sabah and Sarawak, so our challenges is actually very different from what it is in West Malaysia. And then we have many rural communities where they have difficulty to access oral health care. So we feel that it is a big need there. Yeah, so it's very expensive for them to come out to the bandar to get treatments.
Now, a comprehensive study will be done to narrow down the poverty rate in the state. The Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah, said it was expected to increase as the poverty line income had been increased from 1,500 ringgit to 2,131 ringgit.
Yang selain daripada itu, kita tahu juga kita sekarang ini dilanda COVID-19. Ya, ramai orang yang terkesan, yang hilang pekerjaan, yang pendapatannya juga berkurangan dan ada yang memang tak ada pendapatan.
She was asked to comment on whether the poverty rate in the state has decreased or increased. Fatimah added that the state government has always emphasized on evidence-based data.
Jadi daripada situlah kita dapat buat perancangan yang lebih tepat berdasarkan bukan rasa-rasa. Kita lihat sendiri kemudian berdasar kepada data. Jadi dengan itu dasar dana polisi serta perancangan program untuk membasmi kemiskinan, untuk meningkatkan pendapatan.
While visiting squatters in the Lorong Cawan 13 area, Fatimah said that she will suggest to the Social Welfare Department, or JKM, to organize a one-day activity to look into the needs and issues of the occupants there, besides providing them with food aid. According to Fatimah, she first learned of the squatters from a blind messer who is getting monthly assistance from JKM and is experiencing income loss due to the pandemic.
Bukan saja jabatan kebajikan, kita perlu bawa jabatan pendaftaran bersama, jabatan pendaftaran, jabatan kebajikan dan juga kita bawa jabatan kesihatan bersama. Jadi interagensi kalau perlu land and survey, kita juga bawa land and survey juga datang dan local council pada hari tersebut.
Fatimah noted that some of the issues suffered by the 51 occupants include children without documentations.
Nombor satu ialah ibu bapa tidak mendaftar anak itu selepas anak itu dilahirkan. Nombor dua, kemungkinan bahawa perkahwinan tidak teratur. Bila perkahwinan tidak teratur, terutama melibatkan si ibu yang warga asing, maka anak-anak ini akan menjadi warga asing sebab perkahwinannya tidak teratur dan anak-anak ini dilahir, jadi maka kewarganegaraan akan mengikut kewarganegaraan si ibu.
Fatimah added the undocumented cases of children in this community is an issue as they are deprived of the privileges in Malaysia, which includes affordable education and healthcare. Meanwhile, the Kembara Prihatin National Program, which targets 1 million recipients nationwide, is also being implemented in every division in the state.
Is that okay?
Actually, Kembara Prihatin Negara start from 1st November and will be ended till next year, which is 31st October. So between that particular line, we are hoping to serve 1 million target group, which is like we did today. And this is actually the second in Kuching. And tomorrow, as being mentioned by YB just now, we will have another program. And then in Semarahan, there are also, and at the moment, each and every division have their own Kembara Prihatin movement.
On to COVID-19 news. Sarawak today recorded one new COVID-19 case involving a local citizen in Lawas district. This brings the total number of positive cases in the state to 1,068. State Disaster Management Committee said in a statement that the latest case involved a local man who has just returned from Sabah last November.
The case is still under investigation and being contact traced, and until the investigation is completed, the case is classified as Import B based on his entry history. As the MC said, 2 clusters have ended after no new cases were reported within 28 days. These clusters are the Jalan Baki cluster and Selada cluster. 4 active clusters remain: the Besi cluster, Green Hill cluster, Wisma Sabakas cluster, and Jalan Abel cluster. These clusters all based in Kuching, so no new positive cases today. Kuching and Miri maintained their statuses as yellow zones with a total of 4 local transmissions reported over the past 14 days, with 3 of them in Kuching. The other 37 districts remain green. Meanwhile, on the national level, the government has decided to allow movements across states and districts nationwide without the need for police permit, except in the areas under the Enhanced Movement Control Order or EMCO. Senior Minister of the Security Cluster, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, said the lifting of the restriction would take effect from Monday, December 7th. He said the government also agreed that all vehicles are allowed to carry the number of passengers according to their permitted capacity from Monday. In a media conference today, Sabri said the government hopes the people will look after their own safety and take the stipulated preventive measures.
The Sarawak Economic Development Corporation (SEDC) will review the revenue generation approaches through its products following the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic. This includes using innovative methods to ensure revenue can be generated while simultaneously boosting SEDC's product economy.
In Sarawak Cultural Village or SCV Santubong, many activities are being carried out, including selling vegetables cultivated around the SCV area, besides introducing new tourism packages as well as food delivery services. As reported by Bernama, SEDC Tourism and Hospitality Department Director Mark Ferguson said, the pandemic is seen as an opportunity to review all existing tourism products so that the tourism industry can be improved in general. He added the proposal or effort to create a tourism package to attract tourists to SCV is also required, following the obvious decline in daily tourist attendance. Now, the Ministry of Works, or KKR, is open for collaboration with ministries, agencies and universities to produce more technical professionals in various sectors that can be promoted globally. Senior Minister of Works, Datuk Seri Fadila Yusof, said professions in the technical sector are not only focused on the field of construction and engineering, but also in many important aspects in economical development.
He said this when appearing as a guest on Malaysia's Selamat Pagi Malaysia in conjunction with the 2020 National Technical Profession Day celebration on Saturday. In conjunction with the celebration, which was held from December 5th to December 30th, Fadila said the Ministry of Works will also host programs at the school level to provide exposure to the younger generation. He also said that the government wants to produce more professionals in various technical fields through the development of technical education and vocational training, or TVET, which has produced more than 200,000 graduates. Meanwhile, the government is also aiming to produce more professionals in the technical sector, with not just technical skills, but also skilled in research and development. The state needs to look into refining the border entry process and tightening its entry points to stop the entry of illegal immigrants and curb the spread of COVID-19. This includes fine-tuning and improving the entry process at the border so that the issue can be controlled.
Minister in the Chief Minister's Office, Integrity and Ombudsman, Dato' Talib Zulkifli, said although the issue of locals residing at the border is not new, it must be dealt quickly to prevent an influx of illegal or illegal foreign immigrants into the state. He added that the state could choose to seal its borders. However, there were some who had already entered the state but never left, and their whereabouts and numbers were unknown. Talib said that these illegal immigrants pose a threat to the state security if they are not found. Therefore, more rigorous efforts are being undertaken by the authority to tighten the procedures and processes in handling this matter, as it also involves national security. There will be no compromise for any acts of corruption. Now, Dato' Talib Zulkifli, Minister in the Chief Minister's Office, Integrity and Ombudsman, said the Sarawak government will continue to be committed in eliminating the issue of funds embezzlement in government agencies involving civil servants.
This effort is further strengthened with the placement of 94 Certified Integrity Officers, or CEIO, at every government agency. The CIO on duty plays a significant role in mitigating conflict of interest with principles of integrity in each organization involved.
Kita di Sarawak mahukan tahap integriti dan corporate governance yang tinggi. Apa impaknya? Kalaulah pegawai integriti berkesan, maka kesilapan, perbuatan jenayah, dan konflik of interest dapat dibendung. Yang merosakkan performance atau prestasi ialah konflik of interest, tidak patuh dengan undang-undang, sengaja menyalahgunakan kedudukan. Yang kita mahu semua jabatan patuh dengan undang-undang dan peraturan.
He said this during the strengthening of certified integrity officers and Sarawak State Integrity Unit in Kuching. All CEIO officers are placed in 69 organizations, including the administrations of divisions, ministries, departments, and statutory bodies throughout the state. No more UPSR from 2021 onwards. The Ministry of Education is currently in its final stages of their study in determining whether to continue or abolish the Ujian Pencapaian Sekolah Rendah or UPSR. Now, if this were to happen, it's certain to bring some smiles to primary students out there.
According to a report by Harian Metro, Deputy Education Minister Muslimin Yahaya said that his ministry would be making an announcement regarding their decision soon. If the decision is made to abolish UPSR, the Deputy Minister said that no other exam will be introduced to replace it. Instead, primary school students' academic achievements would be gauged through their overall performance, essay tests, and an interview process which would determine their place in 5 different types of secondary schools. Meanwhile, if the UPSR was to be made abolished next year, that means that Standard 6 students this year would be the last batch ever to take UPSR.
And that concludes the Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad.
And I'm Cheryl Shamina. As always, thank you for tuning in to TVS Nightline. We'll see you next time.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.